Anyway, oh, no. Before the election, Ramaphosa sent me a letter to send to Elon, asking him for support. And he had the idea that Elon would respond. But Elon didn't. Before I sent the letter, Ramaphosa's secretary, Chalky, contacted me and said, don't send the letter. We've changed. We think it's not a good idea. But I had already sent the letter, you see. And then Elon's attitude was, I don't want to give any credit to the ANC under the present circumstances. I don't believe that's right. And when I say that, I would also like to say that I don't think the ANC have been an absolutely terrible, horrible disaster. They have actually been a bulwark between, the white culture and the ultra black culture. They've helped. They've actually steered a bit of a middle road. They're not that bad. I don't like the pinching and stealing, that goes on. That's pretty bad. But they're not that bad. But we don't want to give them credit where it's not due, and Elon wouldn't do that. So that was last year. This year, I got a call from Dr. Chalky, who's a very impressive man, very strong black man. He's got teeth like a dinosaur, and strong teeth. And he asked me if I could put him in touch with Elon one night. I was actually having supper in one of the Spurs when he called me, and I said, okay, I'll call Elon and ask you if they wanted to phone Elon. But I said, no, Elon will only phone you. So they gave me Mr. Ramaphosa's telephone number. So I phoned Elon, can you phone Mr. Ramaphosa? So he did. So within in 1 hour, the whole thing took place. So they had a chat. I think the ANC and Ramaphosa is actually a patient of my brother, who's a medical doctor. My brother's a specialist. And
are you allowed to divulge that?
I shouldn't, I suppose. But anyway, why I divulge it is because my brother tells me, my brother's a very straightforward Boer Afrikaner Englishman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just tells me, Mr. Ramaphosa is all right. I find him all right. He's a nice guy, that kind of thing. So yeah. So, he's a victim of the position he's in, the victim of his circumstances, I'm sure, But at any rate, so they had a chat. I don't know what the chat was about. I think it was probably, don't you see yourself investing in South Africa? Or it could have been about Starlink, because there's been big arguments this year about Starlink. First, they wanted 30%, ANC wanted 30% ownership of Starlink. Then they wanted 39%. Then they said they'll take $100 million donation. You're talking to the wrong person when you say that kind of thing to Elon Musk. That's not the way you deal with Elon. I mean, that guy, Elon will stop the world from turning rather than give you what you want like that. It's got to make sense to him. He's a bit of a robot, my son.
And obviously, you can't make that conversation because everyone else will start doing that. Demanding like 100.
Well, Elon owns Starlink, so it's a private. He owns it. He can give them whatever they want.
Yeah, but I mean, if he does that, then all the other countries are going to try and do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right. I haven't thought of that. I don't know. I know that last year, or rather when the Ukraine thing started, Elon was asked by the American government to give Starlink to Ukraine. And he said, I'll do it, but this is a business. You have to pay for it. So they said, sure, we'll pay for it. So they entered into a contract. And then the American government didn't pay. So Elon switched the Starlink off. So they sent people from I don't know where Elon was at the time. He was in China or something. They sent people from the Pentagon in droves to go and plead with him to switch it on. In Ukraine, he said, you owe me $400 million. Then I'll switch it on. So they agreed to pay him. And in fact, 2 weeks later, they did pay. But that's Elon. He's running a business. And he's not totally believes a lot of the crap that is out there politically, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I must just add, he switched off Ukraine when Ukraine was provided with cruise missiles to take out the Russian fleet in Sebastopol. That's Crimea.
Yeah.
He switched off Starlink. In other words, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. He said, you're not doing that.